I'm gonna make this quick. There are a few people who I've already said time and time again before that are gonna be just fine on the main roster. Sol Ruka, Trick Williams, Roxanne Perez as we're seeing right now, Stephanie Vaquer as we're seeing right now, Obafemi soon enough, Kalani Jordan, Lash. I think I did say Cora at one point. That's unfortunate. But another one that I had firstly in my list, and one who I think is ready right now, and I think now is better than any time. Lola Vice has already done it all in NXT, I say, right? Everything except have a championship. Because she's had the NXT championship match against Roxanne, which was really good. Like, one of the best women's matches of that year, I say. Like, you know, not on that show because, you know, that show was insane and had Kalani and Soul, but, you know, whatever. But, you know, still a great match with Roxanne. Like, definitely one of both of their best. Big PLE spots. Standout views with Jada Parker in the ECW arena. And she's already solidified and known as the Queen of the Underground, being undefeated in the Underground style match against Natty and Shayna Baszler, bro. She has the MMA credibility to go along with that Queen of the Underground thing. Great look, and you know, she goes viral every time that she's out on NXT TV. Theme song is actually a banger, bro. And not to mention, she recently showed up and showed out with Stephanie Vaquer in that tag match, stealing the show on the biggest stage that I think both of them have ever been on for the Federation. She was on the same show with people who are on the main roster. The most over superstar on the roster right now, Stephanie Vaquer. It fit like a glove. And I know, like, at this point, I feel like a title reign isn't even necessary anymore. She's peaked in NXT, in my opinion. She's done it all. She's done what she has to. I mean, maybe she could work on some promo stuff, but I mean, how long do niggas have to be in NXT anymore? I mean, I feel like there's some super scenes down there. I mean, JC Jane finally lucked up and finally got a win in the past 4 years of her career, and he's champion on that. Like, that's what's up. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna last a little longer than we all expect. I don't want that to be Lola's fate. I don't think she needs to be down in NXT for 5 years just to get one title reign. I don't think she needs a title reign. I feel like she needs to go to the main roster. And when I originally wrote this, I thought the whole draft and superstar shakeup or whatever was gonna happen post Mania, but apparently it's not. So, you know, I was thinking like Raw after Mania, SmackDown after Mania, but apparently now I'm seeing that it's gonna be after SummerSlam. But like, whatever, bro. I don't know what's going on with this place anymore. What's the work? What's the shoot? I don't know. I do feel like she needs a good send off from NXT though, because I feel like some people, you know, even Stephanie, when she lost her title, she just like, you know, didn't even get a proper match, a proper goodbye or anything. So I think, and I'm just kind of saying it out right now, I think they're doing like a fatal 4-way thing to determine who's going to go against JC at Evolution for the title. And I don't know if it's going to be a fatal 4, well, whatever, I don't know anymore. Lola should be a part of that, right? And it's like, if she loses to like Jordan Grace or Jada Parker or like Izzy, Dame, Kalani, people who I think should stay in NXT. I honestly think Jordan should stay in NXT a little bit because they kind of need, you know, a big face down there. And, you know, she could be like what Stephanie was to NXT for like a year or two or so, because she just got there. So it makes more sense for her to stay there. In her next couple of matches, it's like it should be a stipulation with Lola. If you lose this match to so-and-so, or better yet, JC should say, we have this match at Evolution. If you lose to me, since everybody thinks she's gonna lose it tomorrow and shit, if you lose to me, bro, you leave NXT. And it's obvious where she's going. So whatever, she loses, right? It's like a whole thank you Lola thing. We already know where she's going. She's prepped and ready. She has the look. She be dancing. Like, she's so main roster ready. It's not even funny, bro. That whole like no pop thing that Julia's getting and kind of Roxanne is getting and Selena been getting since the beginning of her career. Like, that's not nothing you gotta worry about with Lola, bro. Like, she's better in ring than all of them. No. I mean, not Roxanne. Roxanne's goated, but you know, Lola's really good, and I don't know. I'm more interested in like her ring style, but I don't know. She has the MMA ring style. She could be what so many weren't, but she has that feminine style. Like she could whoop your ass, but she feminine. She got that OnlyFans type of look, and I mean, my nigga, that's marketing right there. I mean, look at how Stephanie got over, bro. Look how Rhea got over. Sex appeal is all, bro. Look how Nikita's getting over, right? You know what I'm saying, bro? I did make a video about it. I did want her to get pushed in NXT. I thought she was finna get released with everybody like a couple weeks ago, but she's in Evolving, bro. She's getting like 1 million views on Twitter. I mean, regardless of what people are saying about it, every time she pops out, views, bro. And that's what it's all about, and that's what I think Lola brings. So anyway, whatever. Lola loses her last NXT match, and it's goodbye, right? But it's okay, because, you know, we get the obligatory interaction with Nick Aldis or whoever the GM is on SmackDown, and she like walks into the room with the contract, and then Nick is like, Julia or B-Fab Meejin, welcome Lola Vice to the SmackDown roster. You know how he be, right? Or better yet, it could be in a segment with Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Angel Garza, and Berto, right? That group who's like, kind of in limbo most of the time. They're definitely integrated within that tag stuff, but not really, huh? I feel like the whole tag team division is like more DIY, more Motor City Machine Gun, more Street Profit, now more Y6. Like, I feel like, they're more the focus. I feel like the Garza brothers aren't really focused on too much, but they should be. And like, this is how you get intrigue in them. So yeah, she bumps into Legado, Santos being the slick motherfucker, the talker or whatever. He tries to invite her in, she's Latin, they're Latin, Triple H, you already know what to do with that. Please no LWO. The second option, please. But, Lola is clearly unimpressed, brushing them off. As we know and we all want, and we desperately know, like, they need a fresher breath of air into their group, like some charisma, a female, that's missing ever since Elektra was exiled from the company. And she's thinking about it, and eventually one night when Santos comes out for a match, or the tag team, she comes out with them, but you know how they come out all serious and just like looking like peak men and shit, just oiled up and all that shit, getting no pop, right? But she comes out and she's doing the whole dancing thing, and she's getting all the crowd energy, and her vibrant energy contrasts with the Legado seriousness, and that instantly creates tension. So she gets a win in her debut match with Legado by her side. Santos praises her, but he secretly feels threatened. Like, he knows, oh man, we're really about to get Jacob Fatu'd, and I'm about to be solo. She's not Elektra Lopez. She can actually wrestle. She has that MMA moveset and has put on some pretty good matches. A really good match with Roxanne. Please go check it out. That's honestly her best match to me. Even the Shayna Underground match. We got to bring the Underground style to the main roster with her because she's the queen of the underground. And I don't know, like, I just get this SmackDown feeling about her. I mean, she calls herself Latina Heat after the fucking king of early 2000s SmackDown, Eddie Guerrero. Because, yeah, we already know about Elektra Lopez, the former female of that group, who, like, any segments he could mention, yeah, and like Santos could say, you already ran our ex-valet, our ex-girl out the group, so I guess we'll put up with you. Kind of being that stuck-up guy. Doesn't really want in the group, but knows what she can bring, more eyes on to them. And, Angel and Garza can't really say nothing because they don't ever say nothing. Not really appreciative, not really welcoming. But the way Santos convinces her is like the fact that she needs somebody around. So, somebody who can show her around the main roster. And that's kind of what Elektra Lopez was to Lola when she was first down in NXT. The more experienced, whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at her now. I mean, but the more experienced one showing her the ropes, and then it finally, backfired on her. She gets a win, and Santos is proud of that. And he's like, kind of looking at his guys like, yo, like, look at her, like, she's doing better than y'all. And we're like, nah, bro, she's doing better than you. Like, all of y'all. Yeah, like, she just got here, and like, he's kind of gassing her up. He's kind of like, yo, like, look how good she's doing, and it's working. So, yeah, he's glad about her being there, right? So, his goal with Lola being a part of the group is just to get more eyes on him so they can get more TV time. He doesn't really care about her. He wants to elevate himself. Doesn't really care about his group. They know that. But they can't do anything because, he's all they know. And this is where it all crumbled. But eventually, her babyface ways and his, natural heelish ways starts the turmoil of the group. Definitely because, she's a face. Especially, when she comes out with the music and dancing. No one's booing that. Everyone's cheering. Who wants to boo that? Look at her. The story I want to tell is that, her babyface ways of being in this group and, how she was welcomed in with open arms by this arrogant leader who just wants to use her to get TV time. It eventually goes down the drain as, they can't coexist. It doesn't make sense. She starts to see that he's using her to get TV time. Always coming out during her matches. Always trying to help her cheat when, she doesn't need to because she's better than most of the females on the roster. She's winning all her matches. He's like trying to like distract the ref or get her to, do something like Eddie Guerrero would do, like use a chair when the ref is out. No, she's honorable. She's an MMA fighter. She respects the canvas. She's all about the ones, And then Angel and Berto just have to come out and listen to whatever Santos does and says. So they're kind of doing the same, but they don't really want to. You know, they kind of enjoy what she brings to the group. They kind of enjoy the fun, vibrant energy and, you know, breath of fresh air she brings into Legato. You know, Legato doesn't have to be boring anymore. It could just be this, bro. Like, why? Angel and Berto really like her. And like we see like backstage segments, and we see, you know, slowly like within the entrances, Angel and Berto are starting to dance a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Get oiled up and, you know, do, you know, slightly lean a little more baby face and start posing, enjoying her vibe, and finally getting wins within the tag team division. As, you know, when you're having fun out there and the people like it, that's when you find yourself and you start winning. And that's what Lola's been doing. And like, she challenges Santos's leadership, and Santos finally explodes in the segment against her in the hallway, where it starts as an argument between Santos and the Garza brothers, as, you know, they're finally doing like kind of, you know, babyface things within the ring, you know, coming out, slapping the fans' hands and, you know, whatever, dancing with Lola. And he's like, you know, he's snapping on him for that, and like Lola comes in, and Santos goes a little too far when he says, "You're nothing but an OnlyFans wannabe. Like, you're ruining the group. We don't need you here." And like that cuts a little deep. You know, because she does have some videos out there, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I did look them up, too. I did save them. No, I did it. No. And, like, bro, Lola cries, bro. She cries at this. She looks devastated, like, bro, like, how could you say this, man? Like, Angel and Berto see Santos for his disgusting ways, and they comfort her in this distressing time, and it's just, it's cinema, man. She's crying all on them, you know. After all this time she's spent with them, she's grown on them, helped get them over, even if they didn't recognize it due to their bitch-ass leadership, but they see it now. You know, like, regardless of, you know, them butting heads and not seeing eye to eye, like, this thing was working, you know. He was in a sense her mentor, right? You know, showed her the ropes in the main roster, and it could be like another one of those segments, like the Zelina Santos segment when she smacked him. It could be another one of those novella. I don't know how you say it, like one of those emotional conflict and layers for the audience, bro. It's great. It's great TV, right? Speaking of Zelina, I want to say eventually, I don't think babyface Zelina works. I know right now, you know, she has a whole U.S. run. She's getting no pop. We don't care. We don't believe in her whooping Piper Niven's ass at all, or anybody's ass. And, you know, she just comes out there smiling. She, you know, she says she needs a mic, but I mean, like, what can you really say as a babyface that's gonna excite everybody? She's just like more of a natural heel, I say. You know, kind of a waste of a title run. So I say, let her drop the title back to Chelsea or somebody, or Lola. But regardless, I think she should return as a heel, because this babyface run ain't working. And I believe Zelina, post Lola conflict with Santos, she should, you know, make mocking comments to Lola and like kind of be like, "Oh, look at this OnlyFans whore," you know, or something, like, you know, make fun of her crying like in a segment or something. And, you know, build that tension, because she's more of a natural. You know, with her mic work back in NXT, I feel like she can generate that crowd heat. And Lola's a natural face. We got the perfect IG model versus AJ Lee 2.0, which that I think Zelina could be, like, in her own way. Like, you know, a lot of influence, but very heelish and very conniving. I feel like I could see that more with the Zelina character. You know, Queen Zelina. I don't know why she don't bring that back out. Regardless, and that's where the feud begins between Lola and Zelina for the U.S. title. This is what I've always wanted Lola's first major solo program to be on the main roster. And it all culminates to a last woman standing, you know, banging match, you know, back fist after back fist. I feel like this match will make a little more sense than Zelina versus Piper or Zelina versus Chelsea, because Zelina's so small and like Lola's not like too much taller anyway, but Piper and Chelsea are like fucking humongous compared to her, and like the stakes are higher. There's a little bit more relatability, and, you know, if you really hone in on the segments and, you know, program this could be all about, the conniving Queen Zelina versus the young upstart who's so over with the audience, Stephanie Vaquer 2, Lola, right? It's banging. You know, we get the cowardly ways of Zelina trying to escape the MMA nature of Lola. And, you know, in this banger, right, Lola seems to knock her out cold with the back fist, right? Her finisher. And at the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, reaching under the ring, Zelina comes out with the brick. call back to Jada and the whole ECW Lola thing, and smashes Lola in the face with the brick once again. The trademark weapon. Zelina gets a brick. Call back to the Jada Parker feud. That ECW match, and smashes Lola in the head with it. The trademark weapon or whatever. But it actually works this time, and Lola doesn't kick out of a fucking brick smash. It knocks her out cold. Zelina retains, but Lola proves that she belongs in the main roster in a high stakes match and can really hang. The crowd is rallying all behind her. And the loss protects her because there's a fucking brick that hits her, and you build sympathy and more fandom through this. And so yeah, and I say through here and for the next year or two, I feel like she should stay in the mid card. If you want the mid card US title to mean anything, it can't just be about Chelsea and Zelina and Michin and that's it. You gotta have people in it. So I feel like Lola can start to continue to build momentum and actually be a good babyface that people care for and want to cheer for, and is actually real charismatic. Could be having tag matches with B-Fab or Michin and having showcase matches with top talent eventually, and building wins for future shots at, world titles eventually, if that ever comes in. The Santos rivalry continues to simmer and bubble up in a possible blow-off match if needed. I feel like, I don't know, maybe Zelina could, once again, when she turns heel, tag up with Santos, Garza and Lola. Garza was really once over as a single star, mind you. Hey, niggas don't know about that because, the COVID era, nobody watched it. I didn't. So yeah, now branching off and breaking up, she eventually splits from Legado officially. Santos for his disgusting ways, they get a new repackaging in their faces in the division. We finally get that payoff where she smacks Santos in the face. Lola backfist him or whatever. And I feel like that feud could, go on a little bit more. I feel like they could do a little more with that. And Lola positions herself as a dominant mid-card threat while continuing to evolve. Bro, the potential with her is insane, bro. I say she needs more promo reps, but bro, the charisma is natural. Every time she's on screen, she looks great. Tan is, and it shows the passion. It shows that she cried in that one promo about her mom. I know people were cringing about that, but man, that just shows how much she cares about. The tears just came out. I'm pretty sure that wasn't even scripted, but I honestly do think that she could be the best MMA x pro wrestling crossover because she's more charismatic than Shayna ever was, and she's more polished in the ring than Ronda. Look like more versatile. She has the sex appeal, aggression, the accent, athleticism, and long-term main event potential. And possibly in the next 1 to 2 years, she could be running the mid card. And that's how I see Lola Vice debuting on the main roster. She's ready. Her time in NXT has prepared her, but her stock is peaking now. With fan support rising, unique skills, and natural charisma, debuting her on the main roster, through the whole Legado thing, creates, storyline and lore, friction, and a spotlight on these guys and herself as well. It shakes up things. I feel like a lot of people are just debuting just to debut as a solo star. No one's coming up with a group anymore. So it's whether she ends up as the leader of the new Legado or whatever, or she's just a lone wolf and leaves them eventually. It was just a chapter in her career. This path and, what I set out can really build her to be a legitimate megastar in the face of the WWE's future women's division. And that's all I gotta say about that.